up, guys? So I wanted to go over something a little different today. Taxes. Everyone's favorite topic, taxes. But if you're looking at going to Europe for a digital nomad visa, it's something you have to look into. I know it's easy to just kind of like get excited about moving someplace new and you're just kind of focusing in on the requirements for the digital nomad visa, but looking at the taxes is very important. Some countries will charge you a local tax, some countries won't. Some countries will depend on how long you're staying, different variables we can get into. But also, one of the most important factors to consider is if the United States has a tax treaty with a particular country. If they have a tax treaty, then even if you do pay taxes to that particular country, then you can, delete that from what you would pay Uncle Sam, and chances are the European taxes will be higher, and then you won't actually pay anything to the United States, even though you still have to file. But if there isn't a tax treaty, more likely than not, you will be double taxed. So that's a lot of extra money that you will be paying out, and if you're moving because you want something more affordable, that kills that entire thing. So I wanted to get into offer just a general brief overview of taxes for every country that offers a digital nomad visa in Europe. Okay, number one, Albania. We're going to do this alphabetically, and Albania is actually the one that kicked off this whole thing because up until this point, I was super in favor of the Albania digital nomad visa. I was really championing it, but they just tweaked a lot of the taxes, and now I am hard avoid, because you have to pay 15% on all income, all world income you earn up to about $150,000, and then anything above that is 23% income. Albania does not have a tax treaty with the United States, so that 15 to 23% taxes is in addition to what you would be paying in the United States. So you could be paying at least 50% of your income in taxes with Albania. And this is a huge change because up until like 2 months ago, in April of 2024, I believe is when it was passed, if you made under $150,000 in Albania, and you lived in Albania, you didn't have to pay taxes to Albania. You still had to, pay U.S. taxes, but that was great. That's one of the reasons why it's so beneficial. But now that you have to do that you do have to pay 15%, for me, it's a no-go. But that's Albania. Andorra. If you want to pay, get a digital nomad visa to the little strip of a country in between Spain and France, you will pay 8% on earned income between 24,000 and 60,000 euros, and anything above that you will pay 10%. Generally speaking, it's one of the least taxed European countries, but again, there is no tax treaty with the United States, so that 8 to 10% will be in addition to whatever you pay in the United States. Croatia. Croatia has no tax. So you go there, you do not have to pay local tax, and you still have to file with the United States. Tax treaty doesn't really matter because you're not paying taxes as a digital nomad. So that's great. Cyprus. There is a tax treaty with the United States. So keep that in mind. You will pay 25% taxes while you're a digital nomad in Cyprus. So you'll pay that, and then with tax treaty, most likely you won't have to pay much, if anything, back in the States, but there you go. The Czech Republic, you will pay 15% of taxes up to 82,000 euros. So if you earn anywhere from 0 to 82,000 euros, you will pay 15% in taxes. It's 23% thereafter, so Albania is very similar to Czech Republic, but the Czech Republic has a tax treaty, so you will not be double taxed. Greece. Greece is one of these things, now you're going to find this, and again, this information can change all the time, so I always recommend, if you're pinpointing a particular country, investigate the taxes, because these things, they were more likely to change the tax information than the visa application information. So make sure you double check. But Greece is one of those locations where If you stay for under 6 months, you won't be taxed. But if you stay for over 6 months, it's usually like 183 days is usually where they classify it. If you stay more, then you will be taxed. However, there are some caveats. Sometimes they consider if you rent out an apartment for the entire year, they consider you there for the entire year. If you do the majority of your business while in Greece instead of other places, they consider you there for an entire year. So there's a lot of variables in places like this. So check. But just assuming you're there for more than 6 months, Greece is steep. Greece is, if you make between 40 and 60,000 euros, you will pay 38%. If you make between 60 and 100,000 euros, you will pay 40%. If you make over 100,000 euros, you will pay 45% to taxes. Now, there is a tax treaty, so you don't have to pay an extra, bit to Uncle Sam in addition to the 45% you could be paying Greece. All of your taxes, all your income would be going to taxes at that point. Now, Hungary. Hungary, again, is if you're in for longer than 6 months, yada, yada, yada. It's a flat 15% taxes. There is a tax treaty. Hungary is quickly becoming one of my more favorite European digital nomad visas. Now, you can't apply solely online, but with the tax treaty, that 15%, not a big deal. And Budapest is one of, if not the least expensive capitals in Europe to stay in. So if you're looking for an affordable option that you're not going to be heavily taxed, consider Hungary, consider Budapest. I'm really starting to lean away from Albania. Well, I've leaned away from Albania, but I think after doing more research on cost of living, I think Hungary is really going to kind of swoop in and take that spot. That's Hungary. Italy, depending on a couple of variables based on how much you make and different things, it's a little fuzzy because the Italian digital nomad visa is so new, but you will be paid between 23 and 43% of your income. Now, again, there is a tax treaty, so there's that at least. Latvia is another one of those countries that I highly recommend as a digital nomad visa, simply because you can gain citizenship residency in 2 years. It's about as fast-tracked as you can get anywhere in Europe, and Latvia is part of the EU, so that you get a lot of extra benefits. So if you're just looking to get an EU power passport, Latvia is solid. And Latvia, like Hungary, is 15% of your income, and like Hungary, they have a tax treaty with the United States, so that's good. Malta has a tax treaty, but it doesn't really matter because you will not have to pay taxes. Now, you will be paying the VAT, all that stuff while you're there, but you don't have to pay taxes on the income. So in terms of ease of application, Malta is at the top. It's all online. There you go. Montenegro is, you will pay 9% for income up to 100,000 euros, and then 15% thereafter. So 9% isn't really bad, but as of right now, there is no tax treaty, so that'll be 9% to 15% in addition to whatever you have to pay Uncle Sam. Norway, there is a 22% just flat tax. There is a tax treaty, so most likely that'll kind of be a wash when you go to file it for the United States. I'm skipping over Iceland because while Iceland does have a digital nomad visa, yes, I should have included Iceland a while ago, but Iceland, you're only able to stay for 6 months, so you wouldn't be dealing with taxes anyways, which is why I'm not including Iceland, FYI. But Portugal, as a digital nomad visa holder, you will get a discounted tax rate of 20%. As long as you have your digital nomad visa. Once you switch over to a different visa, that tax rate will increase. It'll be the same with Spain, but they also have a tax treaty. It's great. Romania, they have a tax treaty and there's no taxes. Again, solid option. And last but not least, we have Spain. At 20, you again, like Portugal, you will get a special discounted 24% tax rate, and there also is a tax treaty. So again, it will probably be close to a wash when you go to file for the United States. I'm not including Turkey and other places that are predominantly located in the Middle East, Asia. Those will be in a different video. But anyways, that is a very brief rundown on all the basic tax information for European countries that offer digital nomad visas. Again, make sure you investigate further if you're looking to apply for one of these. This is all, I believe, as up-to-date information as I could come up with at the end of June 2024. But again, this stuff can change real fast based on politicians that want to bring in more money, but in the end will probably end up hurting the program. But anyways, that's about it. Like, subscribe, do all the good stuff, and I will catch you guys later.